Yeah. Got it.
Hey, Tom, thanks a lot for giving me COVID.
I was going to ask you, is that what you got? Did you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You weren't wearing your mask during the Zoom. It's your problem, man.
Did you take the Paxlovid stuff?
No, I haven't. I kind of forgot about that. It was only a day ago. It was Eric and his wife Faye were here in town.
Yeah.
And we can trace it back and everything. Her brother, they had gotten together with her family in around Dollywood. Oh, they went to Dollywood.
One of my favorite. I love that place.
Yeah. But anyway, we traced it all to her brother. And but I'm glad. Thanks for reminding me. I need to. Of course, I think.
Well, I took the Paxlovid and then okay, I was sick before Christmas. I take the Paxlovid, then I test negative for Christmas for 3 days, and I'm fine. I'm seeing everybody, and then I started getting sick again, and then I tested positive again. Yeah. So I had another week of it. So sometimes I wonder if the Paxlovid is just prolonging it.
Well, Bonnie had a relapse after she took Paxlovid. You know,
really?
I had COVID, but my symptoms weren't bad, and so I never took it. You know, even though my doctor said, "Hey, well, if it gets bad, call me up and just call me or text me, and I can prescribe some." They must be getting a kickback on that stuff or something, because you know they wanted to giving out like M&Ms. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, it's just like a cold. You know, nothing. You know. And
yeah, me too. It was for me. It was like a head cold. It never got to my throat. It was just you could hear my voice because it was my head was just congested.
You said you didn't want to get out of bed for 3 days, so that must have...
Emily said that. I think she was nuts. Oh. But
hey.
I mean, the first day and a half, yeah, I was laying in bed watching YouTube is what I was figuring. Okay, I'll just rest, and then that'll get rid of it. That's what my dad used to tell me to do, but I don't know.
Shake it up.
But then I'm walking the dog, and I heard you got COVID. Stay away from me. And I'm like, God damn it, Emily, stop telling people.
Barry, you look like you're setting in the West.
I'm looking for pictures of Joe Terra to send to Tom.
Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got a note from Ira that it was Joe Terra's. Was it 20th anniversary of his death?
20th anniversary of his death.
Yeah. So we're putting some pictures together to put up when everybody else shows up. So it's funny how your voice, it really sounds different. I couldn't.
Yeah.
With your voice sounding like that, I couldn't tell it was you.
Yeah. Sounds different to me.
Tom, what's the best way? Message or text you these pictures or email?
Email is the easiest to get them off.
Yeah.
wolf.photo.video@gmail.
That G-spot.
Yeah, the G-spot. To do the G-spot, you do the 2 fingers and you curve them up. Yeah. All right. Oh, I'm recording too. I better shut up.
Yeah.
So all your families are staying healthy?
Yeah, they're doing fine.
Yeah, well, I was at my son's wife's grandma's funeral until about 20 minutes ago. I just got back from Bogalusa. Yeah, but she was a sweet old gal. She
that was Billy's wife's?
Yeah, Amanda's grandma.
Okay. I just sent you about 6 or 7 photos, Tom.
Okay, I'm going to unload them right now.
I put medium size. I don't know if that's good or not.
We'll find out.
Snake. Oh, has anybody heard from Pete Veronadides?
No, I've been wondering about that and haven't done anything.
Yeah, I haven't. He hasn't checked in. And have you heard about Pete, Barry?
No, I was thinking about that.
He sent me a few emails during the holidays.
Oh, good.
You know, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, that kind of stuff.
Because he hadn't been getting on, and he hasn't been getting on the Zoom, and everybody was asking about him during the hurricanes, but nobody seemed to know how he fared.
Yeah.
Well, from his emails, it seems like he's doing all right.
Good.
Maybe not emails. I think it's on Facebook. I don't know. I know I've heard from him. Probably emails.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barry. There's a lot of
There's,
pictures.
there's
Hey.
Snake.
Can you
Happy
hear me?
2020 Happy 2023, Snake.
Happy what?
2023.
Would
Can you
say
hear me?
Snake.
Sorry. Dave, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you good.
Yeah.
So Snake,
Yeah.
did you get two emails from me? You got the regular email, and then I sent you a separate one that said, "Did you get this?" So you got both of them. Okay, good. Because I looked on the list and your name was still there. I thought, okay, but I better check.
Oh, it's been a little hectic finishing that basement. So
Oh, after the flood, you're still getting that together?
and then I had a gig the other day. In fact, I got another one coming up tomorrow.
Okay.
Wow. Damn, you better limber up some, man. Don't want to pull a muscle.
No. It's only a 2-hour gig and it pays well. So
Yeah.
That's good.
So Denver was getting hammered, huh, with all the bad weather, the snow and
we
all?
got some snow. It's
Yeah.
real cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
my kids in San Francisco are getting hammered by the rain, by the
Mhm.
river
that's
in the
going up.
sky or whatever.
The good thing you don't live in Buffalo.
Oh
Ooh,
God, yeah, those people really got it.
I mean, they were finding people that were in the cars under the snow. You know, that was, how many people did they find dead in the snow up there?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Like over 10. And then that guy in Lake Tahoe, the actor who was helping
Oh,
somebody,
Yeah.
using
Kevin-
his plow, but then he must have forgot to put it out of gear, and he gets down and then it runs over him.
And he's alive to talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, he's the guy that plays Hawkeye and in the Avengers, and I can't remember his name though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I could-
that's pretty good. If you get run over by a 12, what he said,
Oh, it was
12,000
big.
pound snow plow, and you don't
Yeah.
live to tell about it. You know.
Incidentally, I heard from Danny Sullivan. And she's been in the hospital most of December.
Who was?
Danny Sullivan.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we talked about that on the last Zoom we had, I think, because I said something, because what's her face from Florida sent a note about that.
Right.
Joan
Joan. yeah.
Joan.
Dragon.
So where's your gig going to be, Snake?
Huh?
Where is your gig?
It's down at a little bar about a mile from my house. It's a nice place, a good venue, pays well.
Okay.
Good.
We got a 5-piece band.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll all get on a plane and show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, just make sure it's the Southwest, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we
But
get there.
United's got some problems too.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
that was strange because I really like Southwest, but man, it makes me think twice.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, flying to New Haven, I hadn't flown in quite a while, like almost 10 years. And I don't care if I never fly again. I don't, I really, you know,
It's
it was,
not fun.
it's not, it's just,
It's
I used
real
to-
hassle- Real hassle for me with this.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just the length of time it takes, just all the BS. I'd rather go someplace I could drive there.
Well, yeah, I used to do these these jobs around places for the Smithsonian, and they would fly like to Pittsburgh, and I'd say, no, I'm driving. And I would go up there and do the job. The people that were with me, I'd drop them at the airport. I'd be home from Pittsburgh to here, which is a long ways, quicker than they would fly, because you got to get there early, you got to get on the plane, you don't know what's going to happen, and especially with equipment, and it was just much better. I drop them off and go to the Wawa and get a
Yeah.
sandwich and a soda.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, but but just the fact that would you have your gear, like when you and I were going to do the original New Haven thing, I was
Yeah.
going to fly and meet you. We're going to drive up with with your gear, and
Right.
because I can't really bring too much stuff on an airplane, So I just
We
brought a
also can't
handful.
depend if it's going to get there.
Right. Yeah, I didn't want to. I
That's
didn't want anything I had to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Barry, You never check a banjo through, do you?
No, I always carry it on.
Same here. Same here.
Well, I spent 20 years traveling with the National Symphony, and those people, they would buy seats for the cellos, anything big, and they would have a truck that would carry the stuff, so they couldn't, but some of those cellists and stuff would not put their stuff on the truck. They'd bring them on, so there'd be a cellist, and then the person would have their seats. So they were buying a lot of seats. And when I used to work for the BBC, they would buy a seat because the cameras were big at that time. This is like 30 years ago. The cameras are big. They'd buy you a seat. So we get on a plane and I'm coming back from, I think, Denver or something. And the stewardess says, "You can't put that camera there." I go, "Yes, I can. Here's the camera here's a ticket for the camera." She goes, "Oh, okay." And then she comes back a little later when it's time for food and goes, "Is the camera hungry?" I go, "Yes, it is. It's very hungry."
Yeah. And the camera has a ticket and wants his peanuts.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
So how was your trip, Dave, with Eric and his wife? Good?
Yeah,
Except you
yeah,
got COVID.
yeah. But everybody had it mild. I mean, like you would hardly know it. I mean, they didn't get as sinusy as I am right now, I don't think. But yeah, they're all doing well. Even got to see Barb after all these years. She came up here to take them back to Atlanta.
Yeah. Is she living in Atlanta now?
Yeah, been there for a long time. I think when she got remarried. She was in New Orleans, but then she, I don't know, she got married again, but she ended up going to Atlanta for a good long time ago, I think.
The four of us, David, saw her for Carnegie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was funny. You were asking me, well, who did you hang out with at the Carnegie thing? Oh, your wife. Rick's wife.
yeah, yeah. Well, this is the group shot of everybody that showed up at the last one.
Yeah.
With Joel.
It's a great picture.
Sure is.
In fact, the only one who is in it is Bonnie because she shot the picture. But I'm gonna airbrush her in, or what do they call it? Photoshop her in there somewhere. Yeah. So, but I think I can't remember some of the guys' names already that I met from other places.
Yeah, who's the guy to the left? First guy.
This guy,
He was a waiter and bartender.
Oh,
His
okay.
name was something Slicker.
yeah, I have an interview with him. He's funny. He was an actor too. He did some professional acting, but he also worked at the Mustache. And
His last name is Slicker.
Schlichter. Yeah. And let's see.
I see Joel there with
Joel.
Emily.
Yeah. And this is John Rogers back here. And then they had some more people from the Boston Cape Cod clubs were back in here. But I'm so horrible remembering names. I have them somewhere, but
I recognize a lot of them.
there's little Ira and his wife all the way to the right.
So Mike came by himself, Mike Gentry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He drove all the way from Arkansas.
Yeah, it's a long ride.
Yeah.
Where's Ira Dector?
Ira
All the way
is
in the back.
Back
he's
there.
right
Yeah.
in the back with the mustache.
Oh
right?
yeah.
There's big Ira, little Ira.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just throw that up there since we're chit chatting. Okay. All
Hey
right.
gang, how are you?
Hey, Mike.
Hey
Glad to
Mike,
All right.
Happy New Year.
And you as well.
I did get your tape in the mail today, Mike, but I haven't looked at it yet.
That's fine.
You know,
I thought I had 1999 Mustache Reunion Band concert from Connecticut as well, but I can't find it, so I just sent that 1998 one to you. That's like the one that you couldn't access a while back, and
okay.
I don't know if you read the note I put with it, but you might have to run it. There's about 5 minutes of dead time before the content starts.
Okay. Now I haven't even opened it yet. I just got
Okay.
home and it
That's
was
cool.
it was in my mailbox. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll take a look at it. And is there any places I'm gonna have to put like tape over people's eyes or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Mike, I was thinking about you with all the snow you've been getting up there, thinking that your cabin must be buried now.
Yeah, I haven't been up there since last summer, and we usually shut it down in the fall and don't go up there, but there's probably 8 or 10 feet of snow up there now. Down here in Denver, we've had a couple of snowstorms of about 6 inches, maybe a little more, and there's still, we said, well, it's 9 days today with 4 inches or more snow on the ground. The last time that happened was about 10 years ago, so
Mhm. So
not too bad a winter down here, but snowing like hell in the mountains. The skiers are loving it.
is that gonna replenish some of those reservoirs and rivers?
Well, they're thinking it might help some, but
Yeah.
Not a whole hell of a lot. It's been so bad. It's been so bad, but the thing I'm more concerned about is what's going on in California. Like Sacramento's just been
Oh, yeah.
flooded like crazy.
Yeah,
I got a lot of friends out there that can get out of their houses for a while because the streets were too deep in water and
Mhm.
things, but hopefully it'll work some to start replenishing the reservoirs, but they're so far down like Lake Mead, Lake Powell and other reservoirs around Colorado, it's gonna take a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just hoping it's gonna, like, the Mississippi River was way down. I'm hoping that some of this rain and all that's falling up north kind of gets back into the tributaries and gets back into the big muddy, because man, it was getting dry down here.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of how low the Mississippi is and problems in old ships and stuff, boats and stuff down under them, down
Yeah,
under there. So who knows?
yeah. Yeah, we got Jim and Rick and I saw there.
Hey,
There
Rick.
I am. Yay.
Hey, Rick.
I made it.
And
Hey,
Jim,
Jim,
Howdy,
What's up,
Jim.
guys?
Hey,
Happy
Jim,
New
you still
Year,
there?
everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Well, happy New
Yeah.
Year to all.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
So we were, Ira sent a thing out about Joe Terra's being dead for 20 years.
Yeah.
So we
Unbelievable.
started putting some
Yeah.
pictures together.
I
Cool.
would hold off till Ira gets on. He was the closest guy to Joe.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, Ira don't get off another half hour.
That's true. That's true. We might have to
Yeah.
bring him back.
Wait till 4:30.
Yeah.
Or 5:30 your time.
Yeah.
30 Colorado.
We can pull one.
There he is.
I
Yeah,
thought this was pretty funny.
yeah,
That's
that
a
was
good
from the
one.
that was from the Carnegie reunion, as I remember.
Right.
That was my first experience with Joe Terra. I had never met him, and I worked in the New Orleans Club my whole life, and I come up there and everything was Joe Terra up there. I said, "Who is he?"
Yeah, right.
So I learned part of the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an experience. He was indeed.
Mhm.
Unique character, huh?
Look, that's Marty behind him.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that. So what did Joe do like before he became a mustache guy? Do you know, Gim?
That's a complete mystery to me. I have no idea.
He
I-
was
What?
he was a drummer for a while, but he always dabbled in acting. He'd do bit parts in films, commercials, and a little bit live theater in New York. He actually went to acting school with Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, Lord.
Really?
Really?
And his favorite actor and friend, who he also went to school with, was Sterling Hayden.
Oh, yeah.
But those
The
guys,
Godfather.
those
Yeah.
guys are really old.
Well, Joe was pretty old. I mean, Joe was older than, if I was in my 20s, he was in his pushing 50.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
He didn't look it, but
Uh-oh.
Well, he dyed his beard. So as to keep up the appearance.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I first went to New York, Grove Thomas was the washboard player. And Grove was working on his master's degree over at NYU, so he had to be off some nights, and then suddenly Joe Terra appeared and was playing Grove's night off. Then it was nights off. Then Grove graduated and went off to be a TV executive out in Colorado, and Joe took over. So, and he milked that cow as long as it would walk, I'll tell you. He was a man with unique skills. He was really fun to work with, and he was great with people, and he was a real asset to the show, really.
Obvious, yeah. So he
Wow.
kind of slowly built the repertoire with his what he had attached to his washboard, and the whole idea with the bananas and all that too, or was it?
Oh, yeah.
He did all that.
Well, at first it was simply washboard, and then he just started to build it, put the little gizmos up on the ceiling and the strings and all that stuff. And then he started to sing those songs, what was it? I fall along the Central Harrows, the Boulevard
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Broken Dreams, and the other ones. So it was so he built the show as he went along to keep the interest up, and it was great. It was really great.
Who's else in the picture with Joe there?
That's Les Muscat playing
Le-
banjo.
I thought that looked
Les-
like Les, but I
Les.
had
Oh,
never seen him.
wow.
I never saw him without a mustache.
I
never did either.
recognize him.
No,
Jesse Denton on trombone, and John McLaren and back there making the faces.
Yeah,
So McLaren, okay,
what-
he didn't have. he
What
didn't have
did
his
John
beard.
McLaren play? Banjo or
No, he played tuba.
Tuba
tuba? Okay.
Yeah,
plays
Yeah, but-
very well. By the way. He plays very well, by the way. He's very good at it.
mhm. Well, he hasn't chimed in a long time.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
No.
But no, it's funny because I looked at that picture and I said, that looks like Les Muscat, but I have never seen him without a mustache.
I've never seen him with that one either. Yeah, that's weird. Huh, I didn't know. It is.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. And even that really young picture they had of him that we posted a while back, I think he had a mustache in that one. But anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah, Joe Show who did Joe bequeath his washboard to?
Mike Johnson might know that.
what's that? I didn't hear the question.
Who did Joe bequeath his washboard to? Wasn't it somebody that was playing? Did he leave his washboard to another mustache employee?
I don't know about that. I know at the reunion in 2011, his washboard was there. I'm not sure if Joel has it or who has it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Ira might know that when he comes on. We could ask him that.
Yeah. What he had a name for his washboard and I can't remember what he called it.
Genostopher.
Gymnastic.
Gymnastopher.
Inoscapa.
Genostopher.
Genoscapa.
Yeah, GYNSTOFIER. And Peter Babcock used that a lot too.
Mhm. So it's not a made up word?
Oh, yeah, it's a made-up word.
It's a
for sure.
made up word.
Okay. When it said gyno, I thought maybe it has something to do with the things that you wear on your fingers.
Oh,
No.
It was a made up word, but in mustache red garter circles, it was an accepted word.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
found an article a while back. I'll see if I can find it. Somebody interviewing Joe Terra about things and how the name Genostopher came about. I'll see if I can find that and send it to Bill and Tom one of these days,
Okay.
or anybody else that wants it for that matter.
We send it to us so they'll get disseminated at least.
Yeah.
So there's Les without a mustache again.
yeah.
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 Was that Budweiser shirt he's got on? I think
Yeah.
so. Huh?
Budweiser vest,
Yeah.
yeah.
Must have been a special outside job because I know
I
that
think
was,
so.
I don't think we ever served Bud at the mustache.
No.
Slits.
We would do Schlitz. We did Lowenbrow too. Remember, Rick, during
Yeah, Lowenbrow.
And in New York, they switched to Schaefer's.
Yeah.
What
I
a shame.
tried Schaefer's once and I didn't like it, but
That's terrible.
When it was free, it was all good.
yeah, that's true. Make it cold and free.
The Schaefer's was a New York beer. It probably still is. I don't know.
The few times I had Schaefer's, it was like Miller. It was kind of watery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can bring these back up when Ira comes, but
Yeah.
we're talking about him.
Boy.
Now, in New Orleans, we had a washboard player who was similar to Tara, but in a different vein, Wilbur Kite.
Oh,
You
yeah.
Remember Wilbur?
Oh, yeah. He didn't jazz up his washboard at all, but he had a lot of personality.
Well,
Yeah, he
then
did.
talk about the personality stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought a different dimension to the Mustache stage.
Mhm.
Really?
And yeah, he was a lot like Tara in that he was very creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, he's the first
Um,
Vince Vance, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
He,
Yeah, he was,
in
yeah,
fact,
he
that
was,
was just, that was just like a side. I remember one night we were working and because he would come out and do he didn't have a separate band, just our regular Mustache band would play the 50s medley, but he'd go grease up and come back out and then introduce him as Vince Vance. And then it got to be so popular that he started getting a band together.
yeah,
you
got the
know,
band together, yeah.
And then he would have to play Friday afternoons, usually a lot of times at the Mustache. But I used to love the way Wilbur did the Salvation Army. I mean, he'd come out like one of these tent preachers that you would see out in the middle of the boondocks, just
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah,
people and trying to get him to put some money on the drum, And he was hallelujah, brother. He'd get everybody to do that. He was
Oh, my.
If I was a betting man, I would think that Wilbur went to New York and saw Tara.
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
I would bet on that if I could prove it, because Wilbur, in a different way, did the same thing Tara did. I mean, he played the washboard. His main thing was his one-liners and his shenanigans with the audience.
Mhm.
yeah,
The way he interacted with the audience from the washboard position was just like Tara,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played with
in a different
spoons.
way, in a completely different way.
Yeah.
But he was able to grab the audience into his hands, just like Tara,
Yeah.
in Wilbur's way.
mm,
I think Wilbur played with spoons though. I think he beat his washboard with spoons or something. He
But
didn't-
yeah, I'm not talking about the musicianship at all.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but yeah, you're right though. But but I remember when he got the Vince Vance gun with the waiters got into it too. We'd all come wearing like band lawn shirts and grease our hair back and all when Vince was doing his number.
yeah.
Well, that was
Yeah.
right at the beginning of the 50s nostalgia craze. That was the early 70s.
Yeah, Sha Na Na was big.
Sha Na Na was big and all
Oh.
that. So that was a new thing, the 50s nostalgia.
Mhm.
That's before Happy Days came out and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd like to see a picture of Billy with his hair greased back. That'd be,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, of course,
I look just like this, but with my hair greased back.
your real name was Jim.
Actually, when I was a kid, I was a
Loyola
bit- I
University.
used to
of
grease my
Law.
hair when I was young.
Still
Thing
do.
is, Joe Terra was always 20, 30 years older than the rest of us,
Wow, you didn't.
at least when I was playing. But all the young girls flocked to him. And they flocked to him, and he always used to refer to them as his nieces. My nieces, my nieces.
I never thought of Joe Terra as a real father figure, It's kind of a foreign notion.
One night I caught him with one of those gals up in his room, and oh man, he didn't like that getting out, that he was a dog just like the rest of us.
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, I always wondered why. I don't know, in New Orleans, there was a lot of girls at the Mustache that would go for, I was like, why would you go for a waiter? But they did.
Sure.
Or a
Yeah.
band player.
Yeah,
Thank- Thankfully.
control
Well, the
beer.
banjo player was kind of the leader in the club. The waiters were kind of like, I don't know, we were just waiters.
You controlled the beer.
But I'll tell you this, having been both a waiter and a banjo player, every other place I played, when you didn't have the waiters, it made it real tough on a band.
Yeah,
Because every other place, the waiters didn't interact like you guys did, whether it be the New York club, New Orleans club, or Cape Cod. That's the three I played. We always had waiters. When we didn't have the waiters, it made it tough.
Sure.
Even at the Red Garter, which I think was the best of the banjo nightclubs, The
Uh-huh.
ladies did get involved.
Yeah,
What a lineup that is.
yeah.
Guys look like you're insurance salesman.
And you know what? That's when we opened up the FIGA convention, the Fretted Instruments of America.
Mm.
FIGA, I
Yep.
think it was in St. Louis, and we were the opening act for the FIGA convention.
It looks like the Blues Brothers go sing along.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
I heard from LeBeau recently.
yeah, that's LeBeau, Gene LeBeau.
Yeah,
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
a really, really neat band. That band
Mike
was
and-
good.
yeah.
Mike and
We
Danny.
just had to hold back Peter. That was the biggest problem we had, was holding Peter back.
Should have wrote, you could work that into Hold That Tiger, but call it Hold That PETA.
Wait a minute.
Peter would go off on tangents, and we didn't know what to do next.
Yeah. What's the 23 mean on his hand there?
I don't see 23 on his hand.
On the pan next attached to his washboard.
Well, I don't know.
23.
No, I had an incident like that a while back with my.
Yeah, okay.
The few times I've seen Peter Babcock perform, he seemed pretty interesting guy.
Oh, he was an interesting guy.
Huh?
He never came off stage. He was always on stage.
Yeah, you got
That's
that right, Barry.
That's about right.
I told you all this a couple weeks ago. I could sit right here in my garage, just me and him, which we did many times. He'd stay at my house when he come to town. And it'd be just me and him shooting the shit. And he's on. He was on. I mean, he put on a show for me.
Didn't he do wine tours in California?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
He did the last 8 or 10 years of his life, and then COVID killed the wine tour business as it killed so many other things.
Mm.
And then he passed away about a little over 3 years ago now.
What
I
did
used
he,
to like Mike when Mike Johnson and Peter Babcock would get together. That it was a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, we'll
And
always
then
have each
Mike-
other.
Huh, Mike?
Yeah, that's true. I'd always tell him to shut up because he'd never stop talking about himself. Let somebody else talk for a while, Peter. But one thing about Peter, he was a hell of a front man for a band, and what a voice. Good golly, Miss Molly. That voice of his, you could hear him in Nebraska, in a Nebraska cornfield from Colorado without a microphone.
Yeah, yeah. I
But he
noticed
was a good
that.
front man, a good entertainer.
what
It's just-
killed him? What did he die of?
Well, they're not real sure. It's speculation is that he was drinking pretty heavily one night and fell and hit his head on something and managed to crawl across his mobile home and into bed and died in bed. They found him a day or two later.
Good Lord.
Wow.
One time we were playing at the Banjo Festival in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and Peter's song he was going to sing was Radio.
Ah.
So he gets up there, starts saying Radio, remember? But he would go to sing the first chorus, then the band would play half a chorus, and he's supposed to come in, but he'd always go back to the first chorus, so we couldn't get out of the tune. He kept playing it over and over, circling back to the beginning. Finally, Mike says, "We going out." Just he said to LeBeau, "Just take it out. Wherever he's singing, it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, Peter and I did a lot of things together over a 35 year period, a lot of washboard concerts all across the country. And I'd organize them and he'd fund them, and he did a great job on it. Sometimes he'd get carried away and start doing things that, really featured him by himself, that left everybody else standing up there on stage. You have 20, 30 people up there standing up there on stage with looking like, what the hell do we do now? But I'll be the first one to say it. He was a great front man and did a great job. And what a voice. If any of you've never heard him sing, holy moly.
Yeah, he could sing. One time he jumped off the stage and started tap dancing in front of the audience. We looked at each other, what to do, What do
I
we
never
do?
saw him do that.
Yeah,
Tap
He,
dance.
he used to love to do My Mother's Eyes. He'd he'd go into that sometimes no matter where he was and just go crazy with my mother's eyes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jeff could really belt too. I remember, he could really sing loud. That is Jeff. Yeah, I remember he did Mother at the the Carnegie reunion.
That was my mother's
My
eye.
Mother's Eyes.
Yeah.
But Jeff did it there. But yeah, I got a clip somewhere of
I think all the
singing.
washboard players sang that song because Joe Terra introduced it at the Mustache. And yeah,
Okay. Does anybody
think
have,
that-
do we have?
I think you're
do
right.
we-
Did anybody have
You're
what?
right.
Do we have videos of Joe Terra playing and performing?
I don't think.
I haven't seen anything myself,
And when he was playing, that's before everybody had a camera,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So when did he stop?
Joe
Hey,
Terra
Dad.
stopped probably around 1982, 83. He
Okay.
was still playing in Wildwood when we did the 80. Actually, it was later than that. He was playing in Wildwood when we did the 87 Mustache reunion in Connecticut.
Oh, so did he
The
play?
reason why he didn't make the reunion, because he was playing in Wildwood.
Oh, so he didn't make that one. Okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Did he move to Jersey or because or did he
Just
stay
for,
in New York?
just for 4 months a year, but all of us stayed right above the club.
I see.
The club was an old hotel, so they had rooms up there. And
Cool.
it was just a summer club, so all the band and some of the waiters stayed upstairs. We all were upstairs, so you talk about crazy, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dottie.
Came in to do some laundry. She heard me talking just now. She said, "Yeah, that was spooky."
No, I can't pull it up right now, but I know that I have a clip of Peter at the bar at the Carnegie reunion. He was singing and carrying on. He sounded really good there. And also he led everybody singing happy birthday to Joel at the 50th reunion too. After he gave his little speech, when everybody was roasting Joel. So I've
That
got
sounds
those
cool.
things somewhere. I just don't have them handy right now. Okay.
Let me see if I can find it. No, I really miss Jeff because I could get on these. I could get on
He was
these
funny.
Zooms and
He was a
start it
character.
and not say anything for half of the show.
He was funny. He was funny.
He was a character.
He was quite the
Wish I'd
character.
met him. Wish I'd had a chance to meet him.
Yeah.
Mhm. Let's see.
So
Do you have anything, Billy, or I'm gonna?
Yeah, I
put-
can find something that has Peter when he did a little bit, but I don't have it song. I can't find it real quick. Let's see. Bands, video. See if I can pull it up. Let's see.
Because I got a picture with a bunch of musicians.
Yeah,
and
you go ahead and put it up. I'm fine. Yeah.
It was a Joe
Oh.
Terra thing.
yeah.
That was Joe in New York.
That's Joe.
Now,
And
who
you got
has?
little Ira sitting on the hood of the car, playing like he's playing banjo. Big Ira on the front bumper, playing like he's playing left-handed banjo.
Yeah.
Who's in the
Danny
fur coat?
Rubio- That's Danny Rubio on tuba. Looks
Yeah.
like H on
Yeah, it's H and Ted Turner on banjo on the
Ted
far
Turner
left.
on banjo.
Who's in the fur coat in the middle? Who's that guy? Nice coat. So
I
did
don't
Joel buy
recognize
two of these cars, one for New Orleans and one for New York, or?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think Roger did the deal.
Let's see. Well, I couldn't find that real quick, but I do have a clip from the Haven reunion. I don't know if I played it yet or not, but I have the whole October the 12th, the date we played at the bar. I have that whole thing edited and it's on my Google Drive. If anybody wants to download it, the whole thing, it's, I can send you the links to it. Or I could just send a link to Tom and he can post it on the next invite to
There
everybody.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay, but I thought this came out pretty good. This was, I think us playing, but we also had the Galvanized band was playing, I think most of it. Let's see. Oh, I got it right here.
Kim.
Ira.
Oh,
Hey,
there
you
you are.
always look so relaxed.
Happy New
Hey,
Year,
Ira.
everybody.
New Year.
Hey, Ira.
Merry
Hey,
Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah.
So I could say now that Ira's on,
Go ahead.
that Ira was probably the closest guy to Joe Terra. We've been talking about Joe, Ira. And
Yeah.
he's probably the closest guy to Joe Terra, at least my experience. They were real close partners. And let me say that I'll tell my story real quick. When I first got up to New York in '72 to go with the show band, I used to look into the club or go into the club, and I saw this guy, funny looking guy with a washboard, and the way he would get people to sing along, like singing just phrases, not the whole song, just phrases. It sounded strange to me. I wasn't used to that. The Mustache in New Orleans didn't do it like that. And because it was different, I at first didn't like it. I didn't like what he was doing. And I'd stick around there and on my nights off from the show band, I'd go in the club and realize that what he was doing was working. He was getting people singing.
Mhm.
It was amazing because I never saw that approach before, singing just segments of lines, not singing the whole chorus. And he started doing that. And I realized that here was a guy who had very little musical ability, wasn't a good looking guy, wasn't a good singer, and he could grab that audience in the palm of his hands, and people just, whenever he was on the mic, the whole crowd,
Very cool, I think.
they were
Yeah.
on him. They were on him. What happened was, 3 years later, I ended up being the leader of that band up in New York. Was me and Tara and H and Danny, and got to work with Tara and talk about learn some new songs. I remember he said, You Drive Me Crazy. I never heard of that song.
Oh, yeah.
Danny said, It's in E flat, the bridge is in G. Let's go. That's how I learned it, That's how I learned it. Songs like that. He started teaching me songs that we didn't play at New Orleans, like Talk of the Town, 42nd Street, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I never played any of that in New Orleans. And those were big hits, big time hits. The way he did Alouette was different than everybody else. The way he did Salvation Army, different than everybody else. He was really the man. And later on, years after that, I was so happy that Jimmy Kane at the Red Garter, this is after the Mustache closed. Jimmy Kane owned a Red Garter, needed a lead banjo player, and Joe Terra got me the job. I
Yeah.
did 6 summers with Joe in Wildwood, New Jersey, which was a wonderful thing. And I'll close by saying that of all the entertainers I've ever worked with, this guy right here, Barry, I think Joe Terra was, what's the word, the most unique,
Mhm.
best showman I've ever seen, ever worked with. I don't know what it was. It was that intangible that I can't describe whatever he had, but it was good. And I've never seen anything like it. So, Joe, rest in peace. 20 years, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was no, they broke the mold after him. He was unique, that's for sure.
Agreed.
And he was the most normal one of his brothers.
This guy right here.
He was. He was.
Right.
And the songs he picked
To the
were the
north.
songs you wouldn't think of that would work at a Mustache. Again, he
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
with songs that we never would think of to do at the Mustache. I remember one night he came up to me, this is later on. He said, Barry, I want to sing that song, that Willie Nelson song, On the Road Again. I said,
Oh.
okay, I can play On the Road Again.
Sure.
First night we're going to try it. He comes out with a prison uniform with a fake ball and chain. Around his neck, sang On the Road Again like that. The people went crazy. I never got the joke. I still don't get it. Still don't get it. But the people went crazy with a fake ball and chain and stripes.
A road gang, Barry.
Road gang. Road gang.
Did you ever see Cool Hand Luke?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
He had a lot of outfits he
Yeah,
wore,
Luke,
different
but I
hats
still
and
don't get
stuff.
it. But that's the stuff he would come out with. I mean, the thing about climb upon my knee, when I
Sonny
take
boy.
off my hat, you say sonny boy, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? And then he go, oh, only when I take off my hat, then he do it, Schiavone. He says, what you mean to me, my sonny boy.
He was a piece of work.
Yeah. That's us in Wildwood. Barry and Terry in Wildwood. Man, those were the days.
So Ira, do you know anything about his earlier life before the mustache?
No, I know he was in Actors Equity, and I think he did a commercial or two. But that's about it.
Yeah,
That's about all I know.
yeah, they said his washboard was on display at the Carnegie reunion. Do you know whatever happened to that?
I don't remember seeing it. Do you, Barry?
Yeah,
No.
it was there. It was there, Ira.
Was it there, Mike? Where was
Yeah.
it?
I'm sure it was there. I don't know if Joel has possession of it or who has possession of it, but I'm pretty sure his washboard was there.
Really? I don't remember seeing it.
I remember I was engaged to Dottie. I wasn't even married to her yet, and I had her sew those vests.
Oh,
Those
really?
vests, yeah. That me and Sarah wear. Yeah. She sold 5 of them.
I remember coming in the club in the afternoons, and he'd have all these parts of his washboard off, and he had a box of the metal, and he would replace the metal in the whole washboard and put it together. He never bought a new washboard.
But
He replaced,
those
he
washboard,
replaced the metal.
those inserts, Ira, the galvanized ones. When I was at the
Yeah.
Mustache in Denver, I'd put a hole in one about every 5 or 6 nights. They were just
Really?
awful. Yeah, they were terrible.
Huh.
Real soft metal. You couldn't, if you played 5 nights a week or 4 nights a week or whatever, or 4 or 5 hours a night, you couldn't not put a hole in those things in a few days.
I didn't realize he went through that many of them then.
I don't know about how many he went through, but I sure went through a lot of them in those days.
Wow.
Then a guy in California had a stepson who worked in a machine shop in San Diego, and he made custom ones for us. Were out of stainless steel. I've been beating the hell out of that thing for 25 or 30 years and never made a dent in it.
Wow. Maybe that's what he had. I don't know.
Well,
sound the
if he was
same?
putting holes in it, it wasn't a stainless steel.
Oh,
Yeah, that looks galvanized. That one there does, but yeah.
I don't know what he used, but I know he pulled his washboard apart and replaced the inside.
Yeah,
So Terry used to see his goatee and his mustache. He used to dye it. All right.
Yeah.
He used to dye it, and every once in a while he'd forget to dye it or go a little bit too long. I
Yeah.
say, no, you forgot your dye job. He said, oh no, I'm touching it up with a little gray so I can look sophisticated.
I remember one day coming in the afternoon and he's got all these spray paint cans. He's spray painting all the shoes different colors. You remember that?
Oh, really?
Barry?
Yep, yeah.
Yep, you're spray painting his shoes.
Good Lord.
Jim, you must have been the first person to meet him from this Zoom call.
I think so. I think so. As I said earlier, he was Grove Thomas was the first washboard player in New York, and then Grove was in school. So suddenly Joe appeared and was filling in for Grove on his nights off, and then Grove graduated from school, went off to California, and the job was Joe's. And I remember when I first got to New York, he was there, and he was just kind of hanging around at that point.
What year was that?
64.
So he went
Oh,
from
wow.
64 to 75 being a washboard player on 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
11 years. Who could ever imagine that?
Yeah,
He
think
never
about that.
played washboard for 11 years.
Right. I wonder if he ever joined the union. We had to join the union, and I just.
Oh,
wonder
I'm
if he-
sure he was in the union.
I wonder if he did. I mean, if he was in Actors Equity, he probably was, but he
Yeah.
probably joined the union as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, he liked Sterling Hayden. He went to school with him. The guy in The Godfather that played the cop or the chief of police.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
He liked Sterling Hayden. And he liked Humphrey Bogart. He said he and Humphrey Bogart were friends. They went to school together. Now, I don't
Really?
know if that's true or not. That could be bullshit, you know.
Yeah. You don't know it, Joe.
Well, there's nobody alive that you could ask.
That's true.
That's true.
Lauren Bacall.
Well, that's true. I forgot about her.
I mean, Joe would come up with some stories. Some of them were really unbelievable.
Oh, boy.
How many brothers did he have, Ira? I knew.
There were
I
4
knew-
brothers.
I knew Captain Tony. I met him once, but I
There
can't
was
say I met him.
Captain Tony, Joe, his brother Louis, which not too many people know, and then Sal. We used to go see Sal after work. Remember, Bar?
Yeah.
Go see Sal. He played at Bill's Gay 90s
Oh, yeah,
on 54th Street.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What did he
Look.
play?
He made Joe Terra seem normal.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes, he did. Sal was something else.
Interesting.
He used
I
to
remember
show
when
up
Sal
at-
got knifed and we went up to the hospital.
I did 6 summers in Wildwood, but then I did 6 winters with him at Cap Tony's in Key West. And so we became pretty close, but Sal would come down there. When Joe was down there, Sal would be down there. So they'd have all the 4 brothers
Wow.
together. And you talk about a nut house.
Louis came down there? Huh?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was Louis' son, little Louis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Wow. The Terracina brothers,
Right.
what a crew.
Giuseppe Tattino, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And the thing is, he knew what he was doing up on that stage, even though it seemed like clown antics and stuff like that. He knew exactly what he was doing and how to
Yeah.
get those people rolling. I mean, he really did.
Oh, everything he did was thought through. I mean, there was no spontaneity there. I mean, he knew what he was going to do, and then he went out, had planned it, and then he did it.
That's
Mhm.
right. But the audience didn't know that. They
Of
thought-
course not.
No,
They thought it was all, you know, only if you worked with him every night did you know his timing was
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
That's
yeah,
right.
he was good.
Remember when he'd do all the cheers and he'd say, let's hear it for Times Square. Let's hear it for Broadway. Let's hear it for the Staten Island Ferry. And when he'd
Right.
say that, he put his hand on his hip. He put
That's
his
right.
hand like a gay guy. Let's hear it for the Staten Island Ferry.
Yeah, or he did Fire Island too.
Yeah,
Anybody here from Butte, Montana, right?
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where was that picture taken? Captain
Yeah,
Tony's?
Tony's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Stopped
another?
stopped going, and Yoko was still with him, but those guys, that was, they call themselves Smith Street. Remember them?
Oh,
Smith
very
Street
well.
Society Jazz
Yeah.
Band.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
who that was.
Bruce McNichols and Joe Hanstrow. Sure, know him well. Is that Brian and Lepka playing tuba?
Yes, it is.
Okay. A child. Look at him. He's must be 17 years old.
And who's on the banjo?
I don't even know who that is.
I'm guessing that-
Lisker is his name. David Lisker.
David
Oh, Dave
Lister.
Lisker. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. It looks like he has a kazoo mount too.
Yeah, he played in New York.
That's right.
Captain Tony's.
Right.
Wow. Where'd all these years go, guys? Talking
They
50 years
fly-
ago.
They fly by, don't they? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And Joe
Yes,
Terra
they
was the
do.
one we used to tease him. We'd say when Joe went above 14th Street, he'd get a
Get a
nosebleed.
nosebleed. Yep.
He stayed in that neighborhood right there around the mustache, lived there. worked at the
Oh.
Mustache, ate at the Greek's restaurant right on the corner.
Right.
Everything was in a 4-block, 3-block radius.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
He
Everything.
never, well, the only time he ventured out was when we went to see his brother Sal. We would
Right.
grab a cab and go up to see Sal at like 1 o'clock.
And the thing is, when he started working in Wildwood after the Mustache closed down,
Yeah,
in Wildwood, he would stay within 3 blocks of the club at all times. We lived
Yeah, he didn't
upstairs
travel
over
far.
the club, but he stayed within 3 blocks of the club.
yeah, that's because the diner we used to go to was within 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Wow. He was some,
If you can get a ticket.
Okay, is this Joe Terrence at the far left?
yeah,
Yes,
that's Joe,
Joe
that's
Barrett,
Ed Sullivan.
right next to Ed Sullivan.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Jim, are you in that picture?
No, not that one.
Really?
I see
Looks
Joan
like the-
right in the middle, huh?
One of that section you did last time.
There's a lot of ringers in there.
Let's see, that's Joan right in the middle, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, by Joel.
Then Jerry Goodnight's on the end.
Get one's close to us anyway, in that general area. But yeah, just,
Yeah.
Just kind of text me.
And he looks young there.
Yeah. I hadn't seen him ever looking that clean cut. I mean, the other pictures, look like he's a little bushy.
The last game.
And what did you guys get paid for doing the Ed Sullivan show?
That's okay.
as
I
a
don't
waiter,
remember.
when we went up there, we got $6.
That's what I thought, not a lot.
No, but we had fun.
$6 back then was like 25 now.
Yeah, that was like one hand of blackjack.
Yeah.
I don't know what the band got paid for doing it, if they got
I
even
don't-
paid extra.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
It was it was like a heck of a lot of publicity for the club,
Yeah,
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a very,
Does anybody know
that
how
was,
Joel managed, does anybody know how Joel managed to hook up with that?
I have thought,
It's
no
Sullivan
idea.
with,
no.
Did John Murata have something to do with it, maybe?
Murata, he probably, yeah, I would think.
Yeah,
Well-
that would be my guess.
I would think the fact that the Mustache was one of the most popular clubs in New York, if not the country at that time, that might have had something to do with it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It was sold more beer than anybody else. I remember that.
Yeah,
That was a statistic that Joe loved to quote once in a while
Yeah,
about. And well, it was popular because we were in Time magazine. That was fun.
well, I know we sold a lot of beer.
Oh, yeah.
We drank a lot of beer.
Drink a lot too.
Yeah,
As
we
I
did,
say,
we did.
I lived on beer and peanuts for a while.
I think that's like part of the bond of the waiters, well, and all like in the band members in New Orleans is sitting around after work, and just until like we felt like going home, just having some beer, just talking about, kind of blowing off steam from the night,
There for a while, I lived upstairs for about 3 or 4 or 5
Yeah,
months.
that's right.
So I did go home, just walked upstairs.
That's right.
Anyway, that was never late for work either.
That's right. Yeah.
Look, fellas, I'm gonna have to run.
Okay.
Good to see everybody. Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
almost
Rick.
6.
Happy New
Well,
Year.
Happy New
Sandra,
Year.
hi.
See if you can get some of those Jeff singing things, Bill.
Okay, yeah.
That'd be
Well,
for next time.
I
That'd
know I
be
got
good.
Peter. I don't know if I have anything of Jeff singing except for that clip they had for,
Or Peter, maybe. Yeah, Peter.
Yeah.
too.
but I do have
Okay.
some from Peter, but I'll find them.
See y'all next week.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Rick,
care, man.
take care.
I remember the last Mardi Gras, the Mustache was open in New Orleans. I tried to get Tara to come down.
Not happening.
Yeah, he wouldn't come.
No.
He wouldn't come. I said, it's
Yeah.
huge crowds, they'll love you. They'll love you. No, buddy boy. No, buddy boy.
Well, we
What
might
year
have
was the last Mardi Gras in New Orleans?
77, I guess, huh?
No,
No, it would have been, it
No, it
broke
couldn't
down
have
at
been
75.
77.
70.
Mardi
Let's see.
Gras.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because 75. Yeah, I think it was in 75 or 70.
Yeah, I was there in 75 for it. And then
Yes.
I
during the
was there
summer,
too.
summer in 75, Wes Mix was up here in Denver and I ran into him and he
Yeah.
told me he had gotten a call that morning from Peter Vrianides or somebody saying that it had burned to the ground. And I know that was
Yeah.
75.
Yes, I think it must have been, it was 75, I think was my last year. No, my last time there was in 74.
Well, what year did it burn down?
That's what I was trying to
75.
remember.
75.
Oh, it burned in
What
75?
month? In the
Yeah,
summer?
Yeah.
okay,
So last Mardi Gras was 75.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Because I had left the mustache. I was working, well, I had graduated school and I was working out of town in Opelousas. And Eddie called me, Ali called me, you know, when it was the day it burned down. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so,
That was a lot
Wow.
of fun scheduling the bands for Mardi Gras, because you'd have like 12 or 13 or 14 musicians and putting them
Right.
together. In other words, we didn't keep only one shift. Could you play with your own band? In other words, the New Orleans band, the Denver band, the New York band, all the other shifts, it was mix and match. And if Schiavone was there, that even threw a wrench in the whole thing, you know, because we never knew when he was going to play. So scheduling that was a lot of fun. Who's going to go with who when? You know,
Who did the scheduling?
Huh?
Who did the
band leader
scheduling?
New Orleans club. So I did it for 1 year. Mike Gentry did it the year or two before me, and then I don't know before that, but it was really an assignment. Let me tell you, tell you that it wasn't as easy. as it looked.
Funny.
This one wanted to play with this guy on a certain shift. Look, put me with so and so on Friday night. You know?
Funny.
Mardi Gras is coming up soon there, huh?
the 25th,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
February, well, next month. Yeah,
Wow.
I think it's the 25th. It's which is relative, no, 21st, I think. I don't have since I stopped working Mardi Gras, I don't even keep my calendar out anymore. I used to have all the list of Mardi Gras for the past 20 years, but it's like, I think it's the 21st. It's
Barry,
just-
you gonna be at Fritzl's during Mardi Gras?
I'm not at Fritzl's anymore. I stopped playing. I retired.
Really?
Really? Really?
When did you
Yeah.
retire?
Well, about a month ago.
Oh,
I called up
wow.
all the contractors that I work for. I said, that's it. I'm playing. You know, ever since
Wow.
my stroke, I could never play right again. My right hand wouldn't work.
Mm,
And you know what, going to work every week, every night, and not being able to do what I used to do, it got frustrating. I wasn't having fun anymore, so I said, fuck it, you know?
Yeah. Are you still at Arno's?
No. I
No
called
more,
up
you're
all
done.
my contractors, and I still get calls. I mean, but I just say, no, I'm not playing. So I
Mhm.
haven't really touched the banjo in a month.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
kind of like the same thing for me, Barry. I can't play anymore. I just can't do it physically and other things. You know,
I mean, I wish I could. I watched Gim just now on that tape. Gim's what, 10 years older than me, he still can play. My wrist was going out. I couldn't tremolo anymore.
Yeah,
yeah.
Billy and I gave up the banjo about 2
And I
months
think
ago.
it's from the
That's it.
stroke, you know? Even though the stroke was, what, 8 years ago, it's
Yeah.
taking its time to get worse, where on a banjo, if you can't do a simple tremolo, I mean, it ain't worth it, you know?
You
No.
played pretty good in Connecticut.
No, I didn't.
I thought it sounded good.
Stuff, you know? So it's
I
all
thought the
right.
music up in Connecticut was good.
Although I got an email yesterday, they want to do a Barry Fool night at Fritzl's, so
Oh,
so I'm
so
gonna go down there and they'll do a night in honor of me. That makes me feel good.
that's
Well,
good,
Great.
man.
That's great.
That's
That's
really
they're
great.
really gonna be wanting you to do at least something.
Well, I'll get up and sing a song, but
Yeah.
this go round at Fritzl's was 20 years, but the first time I played at Fritzl's was 75, right after the mustache burned down. So it's been a long run there, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, let us know when the Barry Foulon night is.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's after 6 and
Or maybe they can call that night just Foulon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. right.
Okay, guys. I guess
Good
it's
to see
time
you
to
guys
wrap it
again.
up, right, Tom?
All right.
yeah, I
That's
gotta
it.
go.
Thank you.
I'll take care.
All right,
next
guys.
week.
Thank you,
I'll
Tom.
see you next week.
It was
Okay.
good
Yeah.
reminiscing Joe Terra. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ira,
Yeah.
for reminding us of that.
Next week,
Yes, sir.
guys.
Hi,
Yes, sir,
y'all.
man.
Thank you.